Coming off of a jam-packed weekend where our buddy Patton Kizzire won a PGA Tour golf tournament, the ladies curb-stomped the Euros at the Solheim Cup, Shohei Ohtani is 3 home runs and 2 stolen bags away from the 50-50 club, and there was a full slate of college and professional stand-around-and-do-nothing ball. There is only one question on the minds of sports fans everywhere on this fine Monday morning. Is it time to sack the gaffer? Welcome to the fellowship. My name is Adam Hawk. He is Ryan Engle. We will answer the question about sacking the gaffer coming up. But first, Pards, how the H are you, and how was your weekend?
Wow, what a wonderful question. Thanks for answering.
I didn't answer. I asked, and I don't even...
Oh, I thought you said it was a wonderful weekend.
No, I said, how was your weekend?
Folks, he's already annoyed. Adam Hawk, he had a rough weekend, and we'll get into it later, but man, I feel like you're carrying on things from the past and bringing them into the show, and you hate to see it, folks, but my weekend was awesome. Thanks for asking. Like I said last week, we need one more weekend day.
And like I said last week, every day is a weekend for you.
That is not true. You think I'd be designing clothes on the weekend in here?
It has often been said that availability is someone's best ability, but I disagree. I think accountability is someone's best ability, and right about now, we here at the Fellowship need to take some accountability because there is a bit of a trend developing on this iPod broadcast. We are 99 episodes into this thing, believe it or not, 99 episodes, and without fail, every time Ryan Engle has ever wanted to hold something up as the prime example of why the PGA Tour sucks, he always will cite the John Deere Classic. And if we're talking about a lackluster product or something that doesn't do well in the ratings or an extremely forgettable tournament, Engle will always play the John Deere Classic card. It's been his bread and butter, and I love him for it. Now, this got awkwardly funny because back in July of this year, our good pal and longtime PGA Tour caddy, Joe Eder, was on the winning bag for the first time in 6 years, and guess where he got into the winner's circle?
The John Deere Classic.
The John Deere Classic.
And you love to see it.
So we, specifically Engle, had to do an about face and really lay it on thick for the tournament our friend had just won. And it was great. You spend 3 years making fun of an event, and then your buddy goes and wins it. All of a sudden, the John Deere Classic is the Masters to us. So, astute listeners of this iPod broadcast will remember that last week we spent a good 5 minutes tattooing the Pro Core Championship in Napa. We made fun of the sponsor, we made fun of the prize money, we made fun of the field, and we essentially said that the PGA Tour is really showing how weak it mostly is with tournaments like this. And I think I pointed to the fact that the event had changed names 5 times in 17 years. Well, that was then, and this is now. Because, of course, our other good friend on tour, Patton Kizzire, went out and blitzed the field in Napa and won the damn thing. So now Nation Golf and the Fellowship, huge Pro Core Championship guys.
Let's be honest here. You want accountability? Said it a million times. I'm going to keep saying it. It's kind of the way I live my life nowadays. It's how I've gotten to where I'm at as far as my intellectual...
What?
What?
Intellectual?
2 things can be either right or wrong, or right and wrong at the same time. It's not always black and white. And look, the PGA Tour isn't as good as they've made themselves out to be. They're exposed all the time with these smaller tournaments. Did anyone even see it? You couldn't even find that tournament. You had to dig deep. What was it on? CNBC Sports 2 or something? You know, like, where was it? I didn't see it. Anyways, the fact of the matter is...
You didn't see it because you couldn't find it. You didn't see it because you didn't look for it.
Adam...
You're at the beach all weekend.
Adam, please don't interrupt me right now. It can be kind of whack, and they can do a poor job with it. But at the same time, our buddy, our pro, PK, it's life-changing. He had somewhat of a slump year last season, and it's hard to watch because he's such a great guy. He goes about the game the right way. He just kept plugging along. What these little wins do for these guys is incredible. It's huge. It's not about the purse, about the prize money. It's about the exemptions and the status and securing his near future as a pro. And that, my friends, is incredible. Not to mention, he's going to be getting one of those little Robert Trent Jones letters in the mail this year. He's going to Augusta. I'm wondering if he needs people on his team this year. Give me a lanyard. What do you think, PK? Anyways, the tournament is exactly what we said it was last week. But is it awesome that our buddy won? Yeah. And why is that? Because no matter how bad of a job the PGA Tour does on their marketing, the way they package it, the way they present it, the way they stroke off the corporate world, and all those reasons we have a problem with it, that's all true. But what he gets for this win is incredible. And we can be huge fans of that.
It is wickedly funny that the two tournaments we have spent the most amount of time mocking are the two that our dudes went out and won. So we have two options now. Either we shut our damn traps and stop making hypocrites out of ourselves, or we talk junk about every event Patton and Joe are scheduled to show up at in hopes that our penchant for making extra dry crow sandwiches continues to yield victories for the fellas. But this is not about us. This is about Patton and winning for the third time on tour and doing it in dominating fashion and leaving Napa with $1 million, 500 FedEx Cup points, 2 years of full tour exemptions, and tickets to the Masters, the PGA Championship, the Players, and the Century Tournament of Champions. This guy just changed his life in 72 holes of golf, as did Joe Eder when his new boss Davis Thompson won the John Deere. And now our two favorite members of the Sea Island Mafia are headed to Augusta in April with flush bank accounts, and we're going to see them at much bigger events than the Pro Tour and the John Deere for a long time, which is great.
You love to see it.
Besides the reverse jinx that Nation Golf seems to have with Patton and Joe and the John Deere and the Pro Tour.
It's kind of like a negative law of attraction that we have. Maybe it's saying something more about us and less about them.
You ready for this?
Yes.
There's also the fact that we were sponsoring Joe Eder when he was on Patton's bag back in 2022 and 2023. As soon as they split and Joe started looping for a Nike guy where he can't wear Nation anymore, they both win, which is so on brand for us. A day late and $4,000 short. Lots of weekend TV time for two eventual winners and not a smoking Tom to be seen. Ladies and gentlemen, Nation Golf.
Yeah. Put that in our business model.
Hey, these two guys that haven't won for 6 years, let's grab them at the last 2 years of that drought. And then when they break it, we are nowhere to be seen.
I wouldn't have it any other way, Adam.
The one silver lining is that the La Quinta Country Club curse has been lifted. Earlier this year, we played a practice round with Patton out in La Quinta, had the time of our lives, except we cursed our friend because Patton didn't really play good golf after that moment. He would be the first to tell you that. And Engle and I were pretty certain that we accidentally cursed him. Not a great feeling to be bad luck, but Patton won yesterday, and we exchanged some text messages, and in one of the texts, Engle said, quote, "The curse from La Quinta is finally lifted." And Patton wrote back, quote, "Our round at LQCC is what got me ready for yesterday." Yeah. End quote.
Do you think we cursed his slump, or do you think it was you? Have you ever thought about that?
Yes, I have.
But look at him now. Look at us now. So the question remains, Adam, are we getting the call up again?
Let's play this scenario out. So he just got into the Century Tournament of Champions, which takes place in Hawaii before the main season starts, and it's for everyone that won a tournament in the last year. So Patton, after winning yesterday, gets an invite to the Century. That means he is flying from Georgia to Hawaii. And a lot of those guys...
He's going to play the Sony, too.
He's going to play the Sony as well. A lot of those guys, Patton included last year, will stop in the desert, cut that flight in half, get a practice round at the courses for the Bob Hope so they are familiar with it when they come back from Hawaii to play that tournament.
They need to get on the grounds at PGA West and go, oh, yeah, this is what shitty dormant Bermuda looks like. I'm just going to drive it everywhere. Who gives a shit?
So Patton last year made that layover stop and sent us the text and said, boys, you want to join me out here?
I think the text read more like, y'all nation boys want to come over and play La Quinta with me?
Yes. That is how it read. And yes, we wanted to do it. And yes, we did do it. And now he's got a couple of more flights to Hawaii coming up. We do hope that he flies into Palm Springs Airport.
No pressure.
Gets the wheels down and calls the boys. We would love to run that back at La Quinta Country Club.
Hey, boys, just landed.
Congratulations to Patton. That was incredible to see. Also incredible to see the Solheim Cup. Such a fantastic event. The ladies from the United States of America got the win over Europe. It got way closer than it should have been towards the end, but that's what team play and head-to-head match play will do. You think the 14.5 points is right there for the taking, and then matches get flipped. It gets harder and harder. Putts aren't conceded. People are missing gimmies. And all of a sudden, Lilia Vu has to stuff a 150-yard 8-iron to knock in a birdie and win the half point for the U.S. that would decide it. And I got to tell you, my big takeaway from the Solheim Cup is women's golf is pure golf. The way they play it, the yardages they hit, the camaraderie, the sportsmanship, the amount of fun that they're having out there in the middle of a high-stakes, pressure-packed environment. It's everything that we want to see on the PGA Tour.
I would fully agree with that. Their product, if you're going to lump it all into one bowl of oatmeal here, it's gotten incredibly good the past couple years, too. The talent pool has grown. The characters are super entertaining. Nice little friendly reminder for all the golf fans out there. Match play was how this game originated. That was the intent and how to play it. I find that really interesting because when these things come around, they're so freaking fun to watch. But it's easier to just count strokes than watch the nuance of matches and golf jargon and gamesmanship being played. And you hate to see that, folks.
But you do love to see the Solheim Cup, and you do love to see the Americans bringing it back to our home soil. I really enjoyed watching that. I watched the Solheim Cup on Sunday before I watched the Pro Core Championship. I keep saying Pro Core. It's Pro Core, but I keep saying
I have no idea.
Pro Core.
I couldn't even tell you what their logo looks like.
Yeah. I don't know why I keep saying it that way. Maybe because I use the word procure a lot, as into procure something.
Yeah, I use that word a lot too.
Yeah, I bet you do.
This podcast is generously supported by Howie's Market.
Ryan, your wife recently visited Howie's Market last week.
That she did, Adam. That she did. In fact, she went with the entire family, and they all said the same thing we've been saying for years.
That it's worth the drive?
Worth the drive indeed. Look, it's one thing to have the best meat, seafood, produce, wine, liquor, and beer in the region, but it's entirely another to be the best damn looking grocery store too.
That's my favorite thing about Howie's. The aesthetics are incredible. This isn't some soulless, sterile, big supermarket. This is a boutique, wood-paneled, family-owned, old-school joint that radiates timelessness.
And that's why we call it a destination grocery store, Adam.
Speaking of family, my dad gave me the best tagline for Howie's Market.
Hit me.
Howie's Market. That's how we shop.
And you love to hear it.
Howie's Market, open 7 days a week and grilling on the weekends in the heart of the San Gabriel Valley. Speaking of women in golf, let's talk about your wife, Katie Kai, who made a purchase recently from a rival golf brand. Katie Kai Engle, wife and legally co-owner of Nation Golf, is going into her personal bank account to buy Metalwood hats. Metalwood, the super uber cool hipster brand from our friend Cole Young, who quite literally could piss in the face of his fans and they would lap it up and say, give me more. Yeah. This is excellent.
You missed a spot.
No one pisses like you. Yeah. Cole Young of Metalwood Studio made a hat that your wife went and bought. She is a Metalwood customer despite being a Nation owner. How does that make you the owner, founder, CEO of Nation, and the husband of said wife feel?
It's awkward on so many levels. One, I feel as a fashion savant inferior to, I guess, this whole craze for this unstructured, super cheap camouflage hat that is so popular. I just don't see it. I don't understand why it's so rad. But people love it. Good for them. I feel like there's this part of the scene in the fashion world, especially like fast fashion, and Cole hate me for saying this, but like he tries not to be, but let's be honest, folks, it's a branch of streetwear. It is what it is. There's like this theme to a lot of it where it's like, this is the, I don't care, I want it purposely to look kind of shitty, I'm kind of like not buttoned up kind of look, you know? There's a lot of that going around. And you see some of these guys in some of these other brands, they're targeted ads or model pictures. It's just like, wow, that guy really put in a ton of effort this morning to look like shit. I feel awkward because it flies over my head. I don't understand it. I also feel awkward because she bought that hat during their Labor Day sale, and it took about 2.5 weeks to get to her. I think you could have walked from La Brea to San Juan round trip twice in that time. So I don't know what the hang up was, unless that was like just sewn in some sweatshop right when she bought it. But then the last awkward thing I'll say about it, Adam, is this, is despite the price of the hat, they used the cheapest USPS freight, which is parcel select. Our Shopify on the back end doesn't even give us that option, so I don't even know where the fuck you can find parcel select. But that's how her hat was chosen to be shipped. So from the warehouse in Carson or wherever the hell it was, which is a 40-minute drive from us, it was chosen parcel select, and on the tag, it says LAX to SNA. So basically, this hat went from a warehouse to a truck. The truck took it to the airport. The airport took the hat, put it on a plane, flew it 5 minutes to Orange County. It got off the plane after wasting whatever jet fuel that was, got on another truck, went to a sorting facility in Santa Ana, and then from that sorting facility, it went to a small sorting facility at our local post office in San Juan Capistrano, and then onto the delivery driver's truck, made its way to our house. That is the biggest waste of money I've ever heard. There's no way that the United States Postal Service had a net positive on that hat at all. Could it have been more complicated to get 40 minutes south?
Maybe it was just thrown on an airplane that was already stuffed to the gills, and it had no effect over the amount of jet fuel that was being used because it doesn't weigh anything. I think you just made this 50,000 times more awkward than it needed to be because...
You think Cole listens to this podcast?
Cole Young is not just a friend of ours, a good friend of ours.
I love Cole Young, and I'm happy for him. But that logistics scenario was bullshit.
You didn't need to go in on the hat or streetwear or the guys that wear it or how much money it costs to make the hat. This was about your wife choosing Metalwood over Nation. You could have just kept this in that lane. You didn't.
Well, I kind of lumped her into the whole thing. No, I think it's cool. I think she has become internet friends with his chick, Candace, and she seems really cool, even though we've only briefly met her. But Cole and Candace are awesome people. I think the fact that she knows she's supporting good people is super rad. And look, the hat's cool. I get it. She likes it. She doesn't like our hats because they're too like high crown. So she thinks it's cool, and I think she likes them, and it's all good. But at the same time, super easy to make fun of from my chair. As you all know, all the listeners out there in TV land, I don't necessarily hold back much. So there you have it. Cole, we love you. Bullshit shipping. Even the packaging in the box was a little suspect. But hey,
oh my
you guys are cooler than us. You can get away with it. We have to use white boxes and fancy tape and shit and priority mail. Maybe we are just that bad of business people, Adam. Have you ever thought of that?
I think about it every day when I drive down here.
This might be the only episode Cole ever listens to because all of his little cronies are going to send it to him, dude. Be like, hey, dude, check it out. They're talking shit.
They, meaning you.
Yeah. Come and get me, boys. Come and get me. Hopefully I can see you with all your camouflage on. Hopefully I can see it coming.
When I prepare this podcast, I generally have an idea of where you're going to go or how things are going to be
You really
said.
think that? You really think you generally have an idea of where I'm going to go?
You spend enough time with someone and you start to figure out their tendencies. You have my tendencies pretty figured out.
Well, yeah, that's not hard.
And I had no idea that me asking a layup question to just create some hilarity about your wife sporting another golf brand of our good friend and somewhat rival company would go into a 10-minute rant on the style of hat, the make of hat, the shipping, logistics in general, USPS.
Hey, I do this for a living. I can't be a critic about it. Parcel select. We're going to look into that. Okay? So stay tuned, guys. You're going to get a lot slower delivery on products in the near future from Nation Golf.
Wow. Wow. All right.
Just kidding, Cole. We love you. It's all a joke. Everyone's going to be like, oh, look, dude. Just fun and games.
Let's make fun of me now.
Please.
I hope you didn't just use up all of your takes on Cole right there, because your friend, your business partner, your podcast co-host is also a gaffer. I am a gaffer for a football club, and if you don't speak British, that means I am the coach of a soccer team. And this soccer team that I coach is...
Winless?
No, we're 1-2.
Ooh, yikes.
And we have not scored a goal since week 1, so we have been shut out in the last 2 games. We won 2-1 in week 1. We lost 4-0 in week 2. And then this week, we lost 1-0. In heartbreaking fashion, the whistle was blown to end the game as one of my players was on a breakaway. And you better believe I have not run that fast in years as I ran when I went out to consult the referee about why he is blowing the whistle in the middle of a breakaway to end the game. Now, I'm not Sweet Lou Piniella. My hat did not come flying off. It was not kicked around the pitch. I merely just said, ref, are we really blowing the game dead in the middle of a breakaway in a 1-0 game? I could understand if we were down by more than 1 goal, but we were mere milliseconds away from tying this contest, and you blew it dead on me. But that wasn't really what stuck with me. What stuck with me is I cannot believe that this feeling of loss stuck with me for a U10 girls soccer game for 36 hours. You have a lot of exposure to sports from playing them and then from being a guy who was kicked out of his brother's basketball games multiple times as a spectator.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it happens or when it happens, but the intensity just gets ratcheted up all of a sudden, and I don't know that I like that feeling. At the end of the day, this is supposed to be fun for everybody involved. Sure didn't feel fun when we were done with that loss.
Sports isn't fun. It's not supposed to be fun. It's competition. It's fun when you win, but you think going to practice and prepping and training and getting better and honing your craft and obsessing over something, you think that's fun? That's work. You think it's fun to lose? That sucks.
Fucking thing sucks.
Sports isn't fun, which is why golf is a game and not a sport. Games are fun. Darts, golf, as long as you have a level head on your shoulders and you don't have a poopy diaper every time you hit a bad shot. Golf is fun. It's supposed to be. You might just be doing it wrong. But games are really fun. Soccer is a sport. Fun when you win, sucks when you lose.
Fucking thing sucks!
But all this is saying, Adam, is one thing. You got your passion, you got your heart in the right place. That's why it stings. You're there for those girls. You really want to see them succeed, and that's great. It's just a shame that you're not that great of a coach. But there's time. You got to get your reps in just like little Penelope needs to. You know, she's going to get better at soccer, and hopefully, God willing, you get better at coaching. Because right now, it's just not looking that great.
I have 3 questions for you.
Yes.
I agree with everything you just said. Does it feel like it's a little bit too young for these girls to be subjected to the intensity and the level of caring about winning that the coaches and parents have? Or is that just natural? Is it the natural progression of things that as you see your kids get better at something, you start to naturally expect, or maybe not expect, but want better results?
Maybe.
Second question for you. And it's the question of the day. After 2 straight shutout losses, is it time to sack the gaffer? Again, if you do not speak British slang, that means is it time to fire the coach?
Is there an assistant?
Yes.
How's he or she?
He is great.
Is he better than you?
Unclear, because he has not done any head coaching this season, but he has been a tremendous help this year.
I guess the real question is this, is which would you prefer once this thing gets even more awkward than it already is? Would you prefer a coalition of parents petitioning to get you fired? Or would you prefer the respectful thing and to take it on your own time to resign and give this other coach a shot?
Well, I had never considered this, but I texted you on Saturday, quote, "F*** me, dude. Lost 1-0. Such an intense game. Sucks to lose 1-0. And you wrote back, damn, you think the parents will conspire to make a coaching change?
I've seen it happen before.
Have you?
Yeah. Children's sports is more cutthroat than you think. Maybe you're just not cut out for it. Not saying you're a bad coach, but emotionally as a man, maybe that's where you're going wrong. I don't know. I haven't seen any games. You invited us up to a game. You sent Katie Kai and I a message. That was really nice of you. Sounds like a fun day. I just, what if you guys lose? Or what if we commit to a date and you're not the coach by then? I mean, we both talked about it last night. I was like, let's wait to respond to this and see how this week goes, because that was a tough loss. Let's give these parents at least 6 days to figure this out. And if he's still the coach by next weekend, maybe we can start looking at dates. But until that time, we're going to wait this thing out.
That was my third question. If you and your wife and your daughter will attend a game, I did send you the schedule with an invite that said, would love to have you at the game, and then we'll go get lunch afterwards. We do have our favorite lunch spot after the games.
Shakey's?
No. Everyone goes to Shakey's.
Oh.
But the best lunch spot after the game is 5 minutes from the field, and it is Islands.
I love Islands.
Yep. So
give me the shittiest, cheapest, tallest, fruitiest, weakest Mai Tai and keep them coming.
That's right. We can arrange that for you. Now, I'm going to flip my computer around.
Oh, shit.
And I am going to show you the standings, and I'm going to have your live reaction to the standings, okay?
All right, let's get ready for last place, folks. What's your team name? The Thundercats or something?
The Ender Dragons.
All right, Ender Dragons. 6th out of 7. Streak, lost 2. Points, 3. Look, the good news is this, is the Blue Bananas are having an even worse year than you guys. So I think it's safe to say that if you don't have any more colossal failures, you'll at least beat one team. So better than last place.
Our one win this year has come against the first place team.
Wow. Talk about an upset.
Anyway, back to the notes. Chick-fil-A. Have you been recently?
I have not in a little while.
You're on a diet.
Yeah.
Did you used to go before you went on the diet?
Yeah. I'll say this about Chick-fil-A. Great people, great service. Company seems solid. It's clean. It's efficient. It's somewhat fair pricing considering how expensive everything is now. Food, overrated.
Okay.
I'm a waffle fries guy.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't have waffle fries, I'd be driving right past that place.
Drive past instead of drive through.
Exactly.
I don't disagree with anything you just said. I would argue that at one point Chick-fil-A was top of the mountain with In-N-Out, and the food quality has gone downhill slightly, enough to notice that this is just run-of-the-mill fast food. It's no longer above McDonald's. But they introduced 2 new menu items.
Oh, what is it?
And I just want your take based on the names because I have tried both. There's a Chick-fil-A on the way out of San Clemente, and if we go without eating lunch, which we do more often than not here, I will hit the Chick-fil-A on the way home.
You're eating 2 dinners. You're getting the drive home dinner and then the hey, honey, I'm home dinner.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I don't necessarily always want the hey, honey, I'm home dinner because I'm so full.
You must have the metabolism of a Spartan warrior.
Tell you what, man, big time emergency situation driving into work today.
You shit your pants?
Almost.
Nice.
Here are the 2 new menu items, and I am a sucker for marketing. If I see a new menu item, it's photographed well, and it has a great name to it, it's hard for me to resist. The first menu item, banana pudding milkshake.
Normally I'd be like, yeah, but unless it was like blended with a real banana or real custard, it's probably just some powder added, so I'm going to skip on that.
It was fantastic.
I'm sure it was.
The second item, honey, pepper, pimento cheese chicken sandwich.
Honey, pepper, pimento cheese?
Chicken sandwich. So imagine the normal Chick-fil-A sandwich. They put pimento cheese and they drizzle some honey on it.
Good?
No.
Sounds disgusting.
They bit off way more, no pun intended, than they could chew.
What, they hire the fired Jack-in-the-Box guy? Or did someone at Taco Bell, disgruntled, come on over and say, hey, let's just mash up different variations of the shit we already have in here?
There's an old saying in the food business that you're only as good as your vanilla ice cream if you're at an ice cream shop. Everything is based off the vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, because vanilla is the OG.
If you've got a good scoop of vanilla, you've got a good ice cream shop. If you work at a pizza place, you're only as good as your slice of cheese. Everything is based off the tomato sauce, the cheese, the crust, right? Chick-fil-A had a good thing going with their chicken sandwich. And I know some purists who believe that if you even put sauce on a chicken sandwich, you're doing it wrong. It should be patty, pickles, bread, call it a day. That is your chicken sandwich. To put mashed up, nasty pimento cheese, and I like pimento cheese, but it does not have any place on a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. And it was horrible.
Here's Chick-fil-A's one of their many problems. A hot sandwich of any kind, whether it's a burger or chicken sandwich in this case, whatever it may be, when the meat that's going in the sandwich is warm or hot. It's like the rule of the culinary arts. You have to use iceberg lettuce. You cannot use green leaf lettuce. Because what happens with green leaf lettuce? When that sandwich, when you finally pull it out of its little cardboard box and you're woofing it down on your drive home to Fullerton, you look down and it's the most wilted, soggiest, saddest piece of lettuce you've ever seen. If you don't discard that, you are rolling the dice for atomic diarrhea. Secondly, if your bacon on your club sandwich is that thin, floppy, and sad, and it clearly looks like it either came out of a microwave or it was fried 6 hours ago, don't even put it on the sandwich. Bacon doesn't look like that. Have you ever cooked bacon at home and had it look like that? Never in your life. It doesn't happen. So my question is, what the hell is that? I didn't ask for wet, thin ham uncooked. That's their premier product. Their go-to is just the OG chicken sandwich, and I get it. It's fried chicken, whatever. But then it's like, oh, you want to upgrade and get the club? It has this, that, and the other on it. And all the this, that, and the other is sad. That's why that place is way overrated. Your top shelf stuff should be top shelf. And their top shelf stuff is their worst stuff.
I have 2 more quick notes from my cellular mobile telephone device. As I have said many times on this podcast, I take notes throughout the week so I don't forget. I have asked you many times to take notes yourself. You have laughed off that premise and come in here woefully unprepared. Sooner or later, summer's going to be over, and you're not going to be able to coast off of beach days being your content anymore, okay?
Okay. Really?
Really?
Maybe.
Come on, hit for the cycle and say okay.
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 Really? Maybe? Okay. That should be a shirt.
Yeah, it should, with the three faces, like a Pep
Yeah.
Boys kind of drawing.
Oh, my God. That's fucking gold.
Gillis, Lars, Rymonson.
There we are again, making stuff for ourselves that no one understands.
Yep.
Hey, just know that if you do buy it, if you are one of the 1% of our followers that sees our posts because of this ridiculous algorithm, just know we won't be sending parcel select. It only comes priority.
Okay.
Okay.
2 more notes. The Cybertruck by Tesla. I'm seeing more and more of them around all the time. Not a fan. Not a fan of Elon Musk. Not a fan of Tesla. Not a fan of the Cybertruck. This isn't about that. A truck, in my opinion, as a former car salesman and all-around just human being who's been on this earth long enough to know, trucks do not have trunks. This was pointed out to me by my wife, who now refers to the Cybertruck as the Cybertrunk.
That's so good.
And I told her, I have to take this to the podcast because we quite literally have amplified microphones in front of ourselves, and it is incumbent upon everyone listening to start referring to the Cybertruck as the Cybertrunk because it has a trunk. It is not a truck. It is the Cybertrunk.
Yep.
Final note. I'm going to read you a statement, and you're going to tell me if you know who it's from.
What?
Okay?
Okay.
Quote, I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter born outside of my marriage. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and my children, and I am doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. We are grateful for your consideration to all the children involved as we move forward together. Do you know who recently posted that to Instagram 6 days ago?
Hunter Biden.
Dave Grohl.
Whoa.
How about your boy Dave Grohl?
That is not my boy.
Davey Dirtbag.
We went to, I still call it Doheny Days. Now it's called Ohana Fest because who's the lead singer of Pearl Jam?
Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, Eddie Vedder. He's got to throw his own festival so he can do his solo act somewhere, you know. But he throws the Ohana Fest at Doheny, and it's cool that it's in our backyard, but it's a horrible venue. It's just not very amphitheater style, so you're just standing shoulder to shoulder in this big grassy thing, and you can't really see the stage well, and it's just so overrated. But anyways, Foo Fighters closed last year when they had it. I think it's coming up in a couple weeks, so it's about this time last year. And our friends from Maui, Dave and Donna Horseman, they're like huge Foo Fighters fans. And we left halfway through the act. He's obnoxious. In between songs, the way he was saying it just came off so fake. But you're just like, hell yeah, motherfuckers. Hey, you motherfuckers, get ready for this, motherfuckers. And it's just like, bro, what are you doing? And then he kept referring after every song, like, how are we supposed to play 238 songs in 2 hours? Like, he kept referring to how many songs they have. And I was just, like, so unimpressed with the whole thing. And then so head-scratchy about how many people there were into it. This isn't Nirvana. Not a big Dave Grohl guy, to be honest with you. But shout out to his new family. How old is Dave Grohl?
55.
Why don't you go get a haircut, Dave Grohl, you grown man? You look like some old guy that couldn't give it up at fucking Thanksgiving dinner. Everyone's wearing sweaters. Probably have some torn Ramones shirt with long hair. Grow up, dude. What an idiot. Now I hate the Foo Fighters even more.
Dude, this is one of your best takes
You
of
know?
all time.
There goes my marriage. Watch her as she goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we found the punchline. It took us a little bit, but we found it. So on that note, we can wrap up the podcast. Thank you so
Wish Dave Grohl would have wrapped up his...
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Go get a haircut, dude. Quit the band. You're done, bud.
Speaking of done, we are done today. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you back here next Monday.